I remember realizing it was Christmas when I woke up and the room was too quiet. Not the peaceful kind of quiet, the kind that makes you aware of your own breathing. No laughter from the next room. No smell of food drifting through the house. No familiar chaos. Just me, a small rented room in a foreign country, and the weight of another day I had to get through alone. Back home, Christmas was never silent. It was noisy in the best way. Someone was always arguing over music. Someone else was laughing too loud. Pots were clanging in the kitchen. Children were running in and out of rooms. Even if we didn't have much, we had each other, and that filled every empty space. But that morning, thousands of miles away from everyone I loved, Christmas felt like a reminder of everything I didn't have with me. I reached for my phone out of habit, hoping for messages that would make the distance feel smaller. There were a few. Short texts. Merry Christmas. Miss you. Love you. I appreciated them, I really did. But once I put the phone down, the silence came back even louder. Screens can't hug you. Messages can't sit next to you at the table. They can't laugh with you or remind you that you belong somewhere. I got out of bed and looked out the window. People were walking by with purpose, bundled up, carrying bags, probably heading to family gatherings or friends' houses. I wondered where they were going, who was waiting for them, what their tables looked like. I wondered if they knew how lucky they were to have somewhere to go. I tried to keep myself busy, made breakfast, though I wasn't hungry, put on some music, but it only made me miss home more because every song reminded me of past Christmases. I thought about my mother's voice, my father's jokes, the familiar faces I knew so well. I thought about traditions we repeated every year without even thinking about them, traditions I never realized were holding me together. Being in a foreign country teaches you a lot, but it also exposes you. You learn independence, strength, resilience. But days like Christmas strip all that down and show you the truth. That no matter how strong you are, you still need people. You still need connection. You still need to feel seen and remembered. I went for a walk later, hoping the fresh air would help. The city was decorated, lights everywhere, trees glowing, stores playing cheerful music. It all felt so out of place, like the world was celebrating something I wasn't invited to. I smiled at strangers, and they smiled back, but it didn't go any deeper than that. Everyone was polite, kind even, but not connected. Not the kind of connection that knows your story. At some point, I sat on a bench and just let myself feel it. The loneliness, the homesickness, the quiet sadness I'd been trying to ignore. I stopped pretending I was okay. I stopped telling myself I should be grateful and strong and positive. I just admitted the truth. That this Christmas hurt. That I missed home. That I felt forgotten even though I knew I wasn't. I thought about how many people were probably feeling the same way. Scattered across the world, chasing dreams, opportunities, survival, celebrating holidays alone because life demanded distance. I realized loneliness doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's just you sitting quietly, watching everyone else live the life you wish you were part of in that moment. Later that evening, I tried to recreate a piece of home. I cooked a simple meal that reminded me of Christmas back there. It didn't taste the same, but it carried memories. I talked to myself out loud just to hear a voice in the room. I laughed at how strange that felt, then cried because it felt necessary. When night came, the loneliness grew heavier. Back home, this was the time we would all be together, sharing food, stories, laughter. Here, the night just stretched on. I lay in bed, scrolling through photos from past Christmases, smiling faces, warm moments. I didn't realize back then how precious those ordinary moments were. I thought about why I left, the hopes I carried with me, the sacrifices everyone made so I could be where I am. That reminder didn't erase the loneliness, but it gave it meaning. I wasn't alone because I was abandoned. I was alone because I chose a path that required distance. Before I slept, I whispered a quiet prayer. Not a fancy one, just honest words, asking for strength, asking for comfort, asking for the people I loved to feel peace wherever they were. I reminded myself that this season would pass, that this lonely Christmas would one day become a story I tell, proof of how far I've come. That night, I learned something important. Loneliness doesn't mean you are weak. Missing home doesn't mean you made the wrong choice. Sometimes it just means you love deeply. And loving deeply always comes with moments like this. If you're watching this and you're spending Christmas far from home, far from family, far from everything familiar, I want you to know you're not strange for feeling this way. You're human. You're allowed to miss what mattered to you. You're allowed to feel the ache of distance. This Christmas may be quiet, it may be lonely, it may not look anything like you imagined, but it doesn't define your worth or your future. One day you'll look back and realize that even in the silence, you survived. Even in the loneliness, you kept going. And maybe that's what this Christmas was really about. Learning that even when you're far from everyone you love, you're still here, still breathing, still becoming. And that alone is something worth holding on to.